If you've ever looked at a scene and thought, do I add more? Do I take some away? Is that too much? Is it not enough? And I know this struggle of either cramming everything into the frame thinking more is better, or going completely minimal, sort of thinking, it's probably more professional. Either way, both approaches can miss the mark if you're not doing it intentionally. Today, we're gonna get into it. When to fill the space, when to leave it empty, and how this one decision can completely change the story you're telling and the effectiveness of your image. Plus, something that I think you're gonna really get excited about is how I build a scene step by step. What's shakin' bacon? I'm Joni Simon, food photographer. Welcome to my studio. So when we ask the question to fill the frame or not to fill the frame, the big piece of context that helps us decide is psychological. What are you trying to communicate through your image? And oftentimes here, it's much easier to see what I'm talking about as opposed to hear what I'm talking about. So let me show you. We've got this charcuterie setup styled two different ways. So here is the filled approach. And notice how this immediately, at least to me, communicates abundance, celebration, energy. This says, come join the feast. It's approachable and it creates that gathering feeling we all love. But now here's an alternate version with some intentional empty space left. It's kind of a different emotional impact, right? To me, it communicates sophistication, intention, a bit more of a premium quality. To me, this is saying this is special and this is curated, which many times is much more in line with commercial or high-end editorial work. Obviously, neither approach is right or wrong. They're just telling completely different stories with the same exact food. And so what goes through my mind in composing the abundant versus the filled frame scenario? So for sure, I'm always thinking about, from a composition standpoint, layering things. No matter the perspective I'm taking, I want layers because that creates depth. So we're layering meats and cheeses and fruits at multiple heights so that, particularly from this side angle, that everything is visible. And I'm overlapping crackers and bowls to create that sense of depth. I'm filling in corners with supporting elements like nuts, small fruits, and intentionally choosing props of different sizes to create some visual variety. Because when everything's the same size, it gets a little monotonous, a little boring, and our eyes are on to the next thing. And here is the key when you're filling the frame, is to fill with intention, not just stuff. Really thinking about creating variety in heights and textures to avoid chaos, right? Because see how I have smooth cheeses next to textured crackers, round grapes next to angular wedges. This creates separation visually, so it's not just a cacophony of randomness. It creates clearly defined blocks and areas for the eyes to explore. And even in a filled composition, I leave tiny pockets of breathing room strategically, like little rest stops for the eyes, so we don't create something visually overwhelming. But now let's go in the minimal direction. Say I want to showcase premium, artisanal quality, create that sophisticated look. And my intention with this is to really direct focus to my hero elements, the point of the story. No matter what you're composing, know where you want your viewer to look first. What is the most important? Who's the hero of your story? And so for this more minimal approach, I'm using a single perfect piece of cheese with intentional placement. And I'm adding just a little bit of a honey drizzle, one perfectly little placed piece of fruit. I've also got this board that I'm shooting on, which becomes a major compositional element, whereas before it was all covered, now it's much more visible, and that wood grain, the color, the texture, it's all incorporated into the story. But it can definitely be a challenge to compose a more minimal scene because you're like, what do I do with this empty space? Well, I want you to know that empty doesn't mean boring. And one way we avoid that boredom is with the placement of the subjects that are in the scene. That becomes absolutely crucial when you have fewer elements. So consider incorporating some diagonal lines or putting things off center so as to create a more dynamic feeling. And remember, in composition, negative space holds its own visual weight. I do have a previous video on visual weight as a part of a composition series that I'll link below, so you might want to go check that out if you haven't seen it. And then also when we're doing more minimal compositions, although compositions in general, the background needs to deserve to be featured, but especially when it's more minimal, because if the color or the texture of it is super distracting and overwhelming your subject, it's not going to showcase well with lots of empty space. But something with character and tone that is complementary to your subject while still having a little bit of visual interest, kind of like this background, you can see that it's not overwhelmingly textured and the color is not overwhelmingly bold, but it does have enough that our eyes still want to explore and check out the details. And so again, when we're doing things that are simpler, how can you add visual interest and character to the items that are in the frame? How can you make these very selected items more interesting through lighting, through texture, featuring them in unexpected ways? How can we maybe undo the packaging? How can we cut into something? How can we undo it a little bit? Go beyond what's predictable, and that's going to stop people in the scroll. But so with all that said, whether you're going maximal or minimal, where do you start? So here's my quick decision framework. Start by asking yourself, what story am I telling? Are we going for abundance or curation? Then the next consideration is the background. Is this accentuating that story? Is this accentuating my subject? Is this something that's visually appealing and interesting without being distracting? And I also think about, what is the end use of this image? Is this for social media? Is this for editorial? Is this in a magazine that people maybe have a little bit more time and they're more slowly enjoying versus ripping through a social media feed, something that we need to be big and bold and loud? But the overall rule is, when in doubt, start minimal and add elements as it feels right. I find it's much easier to build up to versus trying to remove elements from chaos. Of course, as Coco Chanel said, before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off. The same thing applies to food styling. Sometimes the power is in what you choose to leave out. Because space isn't just what's left over after you place your food, it is an active design element that helps to support your story. And so try both approaches with your next photo shoot. Start with the simple, build up to something much more complex. Certainly you're going to gravitate towards one over the other. If it gets hard, that's a good indication that you're learning and growing, so keep going, trust the process. But also, after you have both versions, which one serves your creative vision better? And take it the next step to share your images with other people, whether that's on social media, friends and family, folks inside of our community at community.thebiteshot.com, and say, which one do you gravitate toward more? And get their inputs on how the story and the images feel different. But now I also want to know, are you more naturally a fill the frame person or a leave it minimal person? I'm super curious to see where most folks gravitate, so go ahead and leave me a comment down below. But of course, as always, thank you so much for stopping by the studio. I hope you have a fantastic day. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye.